Just a Spootiful Holiday, written by Madam-RedRose25 High-pitched screaming filled his ears. Sure, after many years, he was used to it by now. But it didn't make it any more enjoyable. He saw him run into a nearby tree, and buried under the snow that was resting on its branches, he finally had enough.
Daggett, will you quit goofing off?
Norbert Beaver cried at his brother. A pointed face poked out from the snow.
What? It's not my fault the ground is all slippery. I'm not used to it.
You're a beaver. You walk around in snow all the time. Get up. We have a Christmas tree to find.
Norbert beamed and pulled his brother from the snow pile. Dag spat out the snow in his mouth as he followed behind his older brother.
I don't know why you're so concerned about getting a spooty tree in the first place, Norb. We won't even be home Christmas.
Because, my dear challenge brother, it's tradition. Who doesn't have a Christmas tree for Christmas?
Those who won't be home for Christmas, that's who.
Dag pointed out angrily. Norb glared at him, but didn't retort. The two finally reached the destination, Ed's Christmas tree lot. Norb drew in a deep breath as they stepped in.
Smell that, Dag?
Dag sniffed.
Smells like wet dog.
No, that's Christmas in the air.
Dag looked around as if expecting to fall from the sky. Norb hit him. He tightened the scarf around his neck and rubbed his gloved paws.
Let's go pick out a tree.
Norb?
Dag panted as they walked up and down the aisles of potential evergreens.
Won't it be hard to not eat the tree?
What?
We're beavers, duh! We ate wood!
We won't eat the tree. Christmas trees aren't tasty like that. Now come on.
The two brothers examined each tree closely, looking for the best one. A while later, Dag came running over to Norb, calling for him.
Norby! Norby! Come here! I found one!
Norb was dragged along the snow and faced the tree, a large tree at that. He had to step back a little to get a good look at it fully.
Well?
Dag kept repeating. A smile broadened upon Norb's face.
Daggett, this is a perfect tree.
Really?
Norb slung an arm over his brother.
Really, I knew you'd pull through, as you do once in a blue moon.
Blue moon?
Come on, let's pay and go.
Together, Norb and Dag pulled the tree all the way back home. Together they squeezed it through the front door and placed it near their Yahoo clock.
I want to decorate it!
Dag bounced around like a small Super Ball.
Hold on now, Dagmeister. We need to gather everything else. Come on, let's rest a bit. That was a long walk.
Dag grumbled.
But Norby!
No, we're watching TV.
Norb cut across and turned the two bonds. A whole day had passed, and the tree still stood there, bare. Daggett was getting fed up waiting, especially when the boxes of decorations sat by, waiting to be opened.
Don't open it!
Norb snapped at Dag.
Norbert, I'm sick of waiting! We already had dinner and everything, and the tree is still not decorated! I don't want to wait anymore!
Dag pleaded, hanging off his brother's fur. Norb rubbed his chin and thought, and then he grinned.
I think we're ready now.
Daggett jumped up, and in no time was at the boxes.
But wait!
It was too late. Dag had upended a box full of ornaments, making them shatter upon the floor.
You idiotic moron! Look what you did!
Norb cried.
Oops.
Norb glared.
You wonder why I don't let you do anything?
Dag didn't know what to say. Norb rubbed his eyes before cleaning up the mess, then shoved another box under his brother's nose.
Here, I put the ones you can't break in this one. I'll put the ornaments on top, as well as the star.
I can do that!
You can't do anything.
Norb told him before untangling the Christmas lights. Dag growled yet again before placing the non-glass ornaments on the tree. And while Norb was up on the ladder, straining the lights upon the top of the tree, he started feeling the construction beginning to wobble. And the next thing he knew, he came crashing down.
Now what happened?
He shook his head. Dag tangled himself up in the lights and tripped over a box and fell into the latch in the floor into the water. Norb took one worried look at the tree before it came crashing down. He groaned. Would the day ever end on a happy note? The next night, a tall Christmas tree was shown proudly in the Beaver brothers' home. The lights twinkled and the ornaments glistened. Norb stood there mighty proud of his handiwork. He previously locked Dag out of the dam that day. And so he added one final touch, a large post that read, "Do not touch the tree, Daggett," sitting right next to it. The rest of the week leading up to Christmas had to go his way. It had to. For Norb, the fun had just begun. His favorite part of Christmas was finding that perfect gift for his loved ones. He loved to outshine Dag in his attempts of finding such gifts. It was true their mother liked Dag's Christmas gift last year. The mess of a sculpture he made of twigs in the shape of a duck. But Norb knew she loved his gift, the Mega Juicer 5000. And this time he was ready to outshine his little brother yet again. Who wouldn't pass up the opportunity to make Dag look like an ultimate doofus? December 10 finally rolled around as Norb dressed up for an outing at the local mall. On his way downstairs, he spotted Dag in the corner with a pile of twigs and a huge tub of glue. He was muttering angrily to himself.
Making Mom another twig animal,
Norb said casually, arms behind his back and over his brother's shoulder. Dag cried and dropped the work he had done, making it shatter. Norb chuckled to himself.
Laugh all you want, Mr. I'm so smart spooty mall shopper guy! For your information, it is not a twig animal!
Oh, really? Is it just a pile of twigs this time?
Nuh-uh!
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh!
Yeah, huh?
Norbert grinned, his arms crossed.
Leave me and my masterpieceness alone!
Dag cried and turned around again.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to the mall. I don't expect to see you there as I need it to be a pleasant experience. Got it? And I expect every little thing in the dam left just the way it is when I get back.
Dag gulped. Norb tightened his scarf around his neck before going out. Norb reached the mall, and little to his surprise, it was busy with human shoppers, making it difficult for everyone within 3 feet, like himself, to maneuver. But it wasn't his first time, and it certainly won't be the last. He stuffed his scarf and his mittens into his coat before pulling out a magazine titled Gifts Everyone Will Want. Rubbing his chin for a moment in thought, glancing around, he set forth to shop. Meanwhile, back at home, Dag was still busy with his Christmas gift for the mother. Glue was sticking all over the living room, and he had already ran out of his pile of twigs, forcing him to chew down a new tree and bringing it home. A large log rested comfortably in the middle of the place. He was now looking at it, deciding how best to work with the lone piece of wood. He truly wanted to make his mother happy this time, and had to get creative. He couldn't allow his brother to beat him, not this time. After many rubbings of his chin and a thumping on his head over and over again, he had an idea.
Urethra!
With a snap of his fingers, he jumped upon the tree and started chewing away at it. After saving a portion of it for the gift, he stripped the rest away and stored it for food for the rest of the week. He was backing up, making sure the chunk of wood looked alright, but mistook a step and ran into the tree.
No!
Dag cried out, but it was too late. The tree leaned over and landed upon the fireplace, which unfortunately caught flames. The 8-foot-tall tree bursted with wildfire before being charred to a black rod with ruined lights and ornaments. Tears began filling Dag's eyes. Norbert was officially 100% and undoubtedly going to murder him now. Norb came walking home, whistling Christmas tunes. It was easy to shop for his parents that day, and he found great ideas for his little sisters as well. He had to go back tomorrow when he had the money. In the meantime, he unlocked the door and stepped into the den. He set aside his packages and frowned upon what he saw. First, Dag being nowhere to be found, and secondly, the off-put tree. Norb walked up to it, looking at it up and down. He gasped. The tree was made out of one giant piece of cardboard, painted green, grating his teeth painfully and gripping his fists. As Norb wondered what could possibly happen now.
Oh, Daggett! Daggett! Better show your sorry, spootay little idiotified face right now before I really blow a fuse!
Norb said as clearly as he could. Norb heard a creak from the door. Dag slowly and carefully walked ever so cautiously from the closet over to his brother. He stood 10 good feet away from him, though.
Yes, Norby? Oh, so wonderful, super smart, handsome brother of mine!
Dag squeaked. Norb's fist tightened.
What in the name of Mr. Zaxtery's overgrown mustache did you do?
I'm sorry, Norby!
Dag cried, and once again hanged on to his brother.
The tree! What? But the fire! I ran into the fire!
What are you talking about?
Dag sniffed before bursting into tears.
The tree caught fire, Norby! I accidentally ran it in, and it fell into the fireplace and caught fire! I couldn't save it! I'm so sorry!
He finished mournfully. Norb pushed his brother off him.
What are you doing to me, Dag? Are you trying to make this the worst Christmas of our, scratch that, my life?
Dag sniffed, rubbing his nose.
First you act like an idiot to the Christmas tree lot, then you break ornaments, then you knock me off the ladder, and now this! What is going on?
Dag cried again and didn't answer. Norb rubbed his eyes, feeling a headache that only Dag could cause coming on.
I'm going for a walk. I don't even know what to say to you now. You're just going to screw up again.
Wrapping his scarf around his neck again, Norb went out into the snow. He didn't come back until dinner. Dag, sitting on the sofa, was caught off guard when he saw a large tree being pushed through the door. A moment later, he saw his brother bringing up the rear. Without a word, Norb prepared a new Christmas tree. Not as magnificent as the old one, but still tall and nice. He took out boxes of brand new ornaments and lights he bought and dressed the tree up, all without a word. He stepped back and admired his handiwork. Satisfied, he went into the kitchen to make dinner. Dag carefully stepped into the kitchen.
Got a new tree, did ya?
Norb hummed as he took out a pot. Dag placed a finger to his lip.
I'm really sorry about what happened, Norby.
I'm sure you
Dag watched as his brother began making pasta.
You still aren't mad at me, are you?
are. Mad? How can I be mad when I found another brilliant Christmas tree and have brand new decorations for it? Ha ha! Sure, they are nearly as brilliant as the old ones, but they will work.
Norb said a little too pleasantly.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you aren't mad.
Dag exited the kitchen, only to pick his head back in.
Sure you aren't mad at me, Norby?
Shh. Dinner is cooking.
Was all Norb said, as he began to whistle to himself. However, Dag couldn't put up with Norb's charade for very long. 2 days had passed, and he was already losing himself over his more than happy brother. He took it upon himself to slap Norbert around with the TV remote after he gave him too big of a grin as they watched The Aliens Who Ruined Christmas, Part 4.
What was that for?
Norb said crossly as he rubbed his smarting cheek.
I'm sick of your pretending, Norbert Beaver!
What?
I know you're still mad at me for what happened with the Christmas tree, so why don't you just say it?
Dag spat.
All right, then. You idiot of all idiots! The king of Spootland! The ruiner of all things left to be ruined! Is it that hard to not touch something? Is it that hard not to touch the Christmas tree? I know you know how to read, remarkable as it may be. So is it that hard to read a sign that says, "Do not touch the tree, Daggett," which is you?
Daggett, which is me?
Well?
Norb placed his paws upon his hips.
I told you it was an accident, and I was sorry! There's only so many thoughts going on in my head!
Dag said offhandedly.
Oh, really?
Dag nodded his head. Norbert sighed as he rubbed his eyes.
Oh, woe is me, what's the point? Dag, could you please, whatever you do, please, try not to screw up the rest of the holiday?
Dag tapped his lips.
Well, I don't know. I do tend to mess up a lot.
Well, don't mess up now.
Norbert poked Dag on the nose and glared. Dag stared at his older brother.
Let's just try to behave, at least until Christmas. Not just for me, although a large portion of it is for me, as you give me too many headaches in my life to count, but for our family. Mom doesn't say it because she told me, especially, to behave when we get to our parents' house, all right?
Dag saluted.
You've got it, brother!
Norb sighed again.
What else have I gotten myself into?
1 week had passed, and so far Dag was behaving himself. He was even able to take nice pictures for once, for the Beaver family's annual Christmas portrait, for their friends and other family members. Norb was growing weary of how long this would last before another Christmas-related disaster struck. But he didn't want to think about it now. For on December 20th, he was going to be throwing a great Christmas party bash in the dam for all their friends, and his focus now was to make sure, if anything, it was perfect. He couldn't be the laughingstock of the forest as the Beaver who threw a disaster of a party. Not only did he enter the 3rd annual Best Christmas Party in the forest competition this year, and he just had to win. He also entered himself in the 8th annual Best Decorated Dam competition as well. The morning before the party, Norb was busy getting the dam ready, while keeping an eye out on Daggett.
Come on, Norbert, let me do something.
Daggett complained.
Oh, I don't think so, Disaster Dag.
Norb chuckled heavily.
Come on, it's been a week and I haven't messed anything up.
As shocking as that sounds.
Eh?
No, nothing.
Norb took a long look at Dag and started rubbing his chin.
Fine, if you want to help. I have a very important task for you, little brother.
Oh! Oh!
Dag smiled and clapped his paws.
You can walk outside, far away outside, and find a super special, duperly duper special, sparkling pink Christmas tree to hang.
Pink tree?
Yes.
Norb nodded as he led Dag to the door.
It's the final special touch to the decorations for tonight. Remember, tonight has to be the best Christmas party in the forest.
He told him as he handed him his snow clothing.
I don't think I've ever seen a pink tree before.
Dag noted.
Oh, it's extremely rare, but I recall seeing one miles from here. It won't be too hard to find it, so get going, and don't return until you find it.
Norb said enthusiastically.
Ooh! I won't fail you again, my brother!
Dag cried happily and ran out.
How do I still get a kick out of this 6 years later?
Norbert chuckled to himself before closing the door. Around 4 p.m., Norbert stepped back from his huge wreath hanging on the wall and inspected everything.
Voila!
He announced.
I am finished. This looks like the winner of the 3rd annual Best Christmas Party in the Forest competition already. Hoo-hoo! As long as Daggett stays far away from everything, all should be wella.
He was dressed in a snazzy green suit and took extra time making sure his hair was perfect this time. Norbert's guests soon arrived, and the party began. Norb happily walked about greeting everyone, thankful that he saw no sign of his little brother yet.
Where is Daggett anyway?
His girlfriend Treeflower asked over the punch.
He couldn't make it, Tree. He had to be absent tonight. So, how's the flute lessons going?
It was around 10 o'clock at night, and Dag had finally emerged from the trees. Daggett was angry that he couldn't find any special pink tree. It wasn't as easy as he thought it would be, from what Norbert described it. He sighed as he walked up the pathway to the front door. He was just about to walk in when he suddenly stopped. He saw lights glowing on in the windows. Something was going on. Being careful not to trip over any of the lights hanging outside the dam, he took a look inside. What he saw made him gasp. All of his friends were dancing around inside, enjoying themselves. Dag impatiently cleared up a fog window for a better look. He saw Norbert in the middle of the dance floor spinning around with Treeflower, while all the other guests cheered them on. Dag took a step back and sighed. His brother didn't need a special pink tree. He just wanted to be rid of him for the 1000th time. Daggett leaned against the side under a window and sank into the snow caked around, not caring that more snow was steadily drifting upon him. At about midnight, the party was dying down. The door opened and all the guests filed out.
Don't forget me when you think of the best Christmas party this forest has ever seen, eh?
Norb called out to his friends and winked, chortling to himself. He kissed Treeflower goodbye and was just about to close the door when he saw a figure buried in the snow. 2 yellow eyes peeping through it.
Dag?
Oh, hello, Norbert. Finally caring enough to see me, eh?
What? Come on inside, you must be freezing.
Norb helped his brother inside and sat him in front of the blazing fire. He came by with 2 mugs of steaming hot chocolate and a large blanket minutes later and threw it over his brother. Dag sighed as he took a mug of cocoa. Norb gingerly sat down next to him.
You didn't want me to find a pink tree, did you, Norb?
Well...
Norb rubbed the back of his neck. Dag took a sip of cocoa.
I'm sorry I'm such a nuisance, brother, but could you have at least told me?
I've been telling you that since we were 1, Dag. Nothing has changed.
No one believes I can never screw things up.
Well, not everyone.
They do so! When's the last time you heard Mom say something like, great idea, Daggett, or whatever?
Well,
Norb felt himself flushed now.
And my own brother kicks me out of our own dam so he can throw a party with our friends! That's a new low, Norbert.
excuse me?
Dag sighed and stood up, downing the rest of his cocoa.
I'm going to bed.
Norb slapped himself. Not even getting rid of his brother for the night made his grand party a success. What was going to be a success this month? Norbert felt like nothing was. His Christmas date with Treeflower the next day would have to be cancelled.
I am so sorry, Norby.
Treeflower told him as he stood outside her door, holding on to his paws.
But can't it wait?
It can't. You know how my family can get. They may be very relaxed beavers, but when it comes to the holidays, they want everyone together and keep tight schedules.
But still...
Plus, we're spending it at my grandparents'. They live in California. I have to catch the flight, baby.
But...
My brothers are coming to pick me up minutes from now. I am so sorry.
Norb was left heartbroken in the dam that night. The day had only gotten worse. The results for the best decorated dam competition were in, and he lost yet again. Daggett carefully sat next to him on the sofa.
Things not so good?
No, Treeflower had to leave early. Her family changed plans at the last minute. She'll be gone until New Year's. Didn't even give her a chance to get her gift.
Eh?
I pre-ordered it online and it still hasn't arrived.
Dag held up a letter.
What's this?
Results for the best decorated dam competition.
Dag scanned it.
Hey, Norb! Your name's not on this.
I know that! Why do you think I'm so upset?
Dag tossed the letter aside.
So, not one of your best Novembers?
It's December, Dag.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
Norb's lip quivered, and he placed his paws over his face.
Hey, look on the bright side, Norbert, brother. At least there's still time to have a fantastic, ballistic Christmas with Mom and Dad and our sisters. That's good, eh?
I suppose.
Norby, feeling deflated, sank into the sofa. Dag hopped off the sofa.
Well, I've got last-minute wrapping to do. You'll be fine, won't you?
As long as you don't somehow burn the dam down with your wrapping.
Norb shrugged. Dag saluted and ran upstairs. It was Christmas Eve morning now. When Norbert looked outside, he gasped at what he saw. It was nothing but white snow outside. He shivered. It sure was going to be a tough time walking over to the parents' dam today. Shaking his head, he went downstairs for breakfast. A couple of hours later, he and Dag were ready to go. Norb had dressed himself up in a nice, rich green sweater and attached rackets to his boots, hopefully making it easier to walk outside in the deep snow.
I don't want to wear these.
Dag complained as he tripped over his racket boots.
Well, unless you want to be trapped in snow, you're gonna have to.
Dag fastened a hat over his head and stood up.
Where are the gifts?
I'm taking care of that.
Norb announced and slung a sack of gifts over his shoulder.
Oh.
Well, let's go then. We have 5 miles to walk. It's gonna be difficult in this weather, but we'll make it in time.
In time for Mom's famous Christmas Eve macaroni dinner?
In time for Mom's famous Christmas Eve macaroni dinner, yes, let's go!
It was only 5 miles away. A distance only one could easily travel and reach their destination by car. But it was snowing, and being 3 feet tall, it was going to be difficult to maneuver in this weather.
Why don't Mom and Dad just pick us up instead?
Dag said as he waited for his brother to catch up to him.
Because, Daggy Impatient Pants, it's too dangerous to drive in the snow.
Norbert said, struggling with his sack.
We've driven in the snow before.
Snow this thick? It's the worst weather I ever seen. Come on, we can do it.
But my legs hurt.
Dag complained and sank into the snow.
I'm the one who has the luggage, you dupe.
Norb reminded him as he pulled his brother up.
I'll hold on to it.
Dag smiled, arms wide out.
Oh, no. I'm not falling into that trappy again.
Norb took a step back.
Trappy?
Best to just grin and bear it.
A painful smile painted itself upon Norbert's face.
Bear? What bear?
Norb slapped himself.
Just move.
An hour later, the sky was growing dark. The snow fell ever quickly, the weather ever so cold. Norb looked up, and his eyes filled with tears instantly because of the cold. He looked ahead to see his little brother carefully stepping into the snow. Norb panicked. He didn't know exactly where they were.
Daggett! Hold up!
He called.
What?
I said, hold up!
The wind was now growing intense, making it difficult to hear each other, even when they were a few feet away. Daggett saw Norbert sink into the snow.
Ooh!
He cried and hurried over to him.
What is it, brother?
I can't do this, Dag. I can't.
Norb shook his head.
I give up.
Eh?
Look at this weather. It's terrible. I'm so cold. This sack of gifts is killing me. It's so snowy out. I don't even know where we are.
Dag stood over Norb with a blank look on his face. He saw tears filling up his brother's eyes. Tears filled Dag's eyes as well.
I know. It's really cold out. I think my eyes are gonna turn into frozen ball thingies.
Norb shook his head.
It's not that. These are real tears, Dag.
Eh?
Dag frowned again as he saw his older brother covering his face with paws out of sadness.
Nothing about this month has gone right. I give up.
Daggett stared at his brother long and hard for several minutes. He felt helpless yet again. But surely this wasn't the end. Surely they weren't about to freeze and die in a snowstorm. On Christmas Eve, no less. Daggett's unibrow now turned into a deep glare.
No, Norbert.
What?
No, this isn't the end.
He shook the snow off his cap before placing it back on.
We're going to get to Mom and Dad's and celebrate this joyous holiday.
But Dag...
Silence! I'll take care of this.
Dag chewed down a nearby tree, chewing it until he was left with nothing but a round chunk, and placed Norbert upon it, sticking a branch into it like a handle. He then threw the sack over his back and looked around. He pointed up ahead, and he pushed his brother onto the makeshift sled thing and plowed them both into the snow.
There's the hill without any trees. Mom and Dad's dam is right past it to the right. Let's go!
A half hour later, and they soon saw the familiar pond of the parents' home resting upon it, frozen solid now. Dag let out a cry of excitement and quickly pushed his brother upon the sled, up the walkway to the front door. Norbert looked over at Dag.
Sometimes you amaze me.
He said tonelessly. Dag smiled.
Glad to hear it, Norby.
He set down the sack and knocked on the door.
Norbert, Daggett! Oh my goodness, there you two are.
The mother cried and quickly brought the two inside.
We've been wondering when you two would show up.
The father told them as their mother quickly pushed their sons up to the roaring fire.
We ran into a bit of a snowstorm.
Norby told them as he shivered.
Hi, girls.
Daggett cried happily as their little sisters, Stacy and Chelsea, came up to greet them.
Dag here was able to get us here.
Norb said as he hugged his little sisters in return.
Really?
Mrs. Beaver looked amazed.
Nervous Norb over here thought we were doomed and wanted to give up. But I was able to bring us safe and sound here in the end.
Dag smiled proudly. The mother had tears in her eyes.
Oh, Daggy, I'm so proud of you.
And hugged him tightly. Norb smiled at his brother as the family went off to do their own thing minutes later.
Well?
Well, what?
Dag said as he sipped his cocoa. Norb raised his brows. Dag smiled.
It feels good to hear Mom say she's proud of me.
And that is going to your memory book. Let's see here. December 24th, 2001. Mom, finally proud of something Daggett has done.
Norb said aloud as he wrote it in a little notebook and showed it to Daggett. Dag smiled.
You saved us both from that treacherous snowstorm.
And all the gifts.
Norbert took a good look at the gifts, all nestled safely under the Christmas tree.
Not as much of a spooty screw-up guy now, am I?
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, come on.
Boys, no fighting now. At least save it until tonight. You just got here.
Mrs. Beaver scolded them, coming forward.
Dag thinks.
Who wants some lunch?
Mrs. Beaver interrupted. Norbert and Dag beamed and raced into the kitchen, pulling off their wet clothes.
Wait.
Mrs. Beaver called out and wrapping a blanket around them, causing them to roll their eyes.
You're both still freezing. Now you can go.
That night it was very difficult for the boys to fall asleep. They both had to share the giant bed in the guest room, both very high in anticipation for tomorrow. Norb was still afraid about something going wrong. He turned over to his brother next to him, who was snoring away.
Oh, you better not screw anything else up, Daggy.
Norb said to himself, before finally getting some shut-eye.
It's Christmas! It's Christmas!
Were the first words that rang in the house. Norb and Daggett awoke to have their sisters jumping on the bed.
Wake up! Wake up!
Chelsea cried.
We are, Chelsea. Even Norby here, who sleeps like a log.
Oh, shut up.
Norb said as he threw a pillow at him.
You couldn't wake if a bomb was going off right next to you, you spoot face.
Dag said as he threw the pillow back.
Pillow fight!
Little Stacy announced, and soon all four siblings were hitting each other.
Kids, come on! Who wants breakfast?
Mrs. Viva asked, poking her head in 10 minutes later.
Me!
All four yelled as they raced down the stairs.
Things are going pretty good so far, aren't they, Norby? Eh?
Dag elbowed his brother while the family sat around a large pancake breakfast.
Stop nudging me!
Norb glared.
Eh?
Norb gave him a large push.
Boys!
Snapped their mother.
Oh, let the boys have their fun, Rose. It's Christmas.
The dad stepped in.
Might I remind you how many accidents were started raising those two when something like this started?
She whispered to her husband. He pretended not to have heard it. All six of them gathered around the Christmas tree after breakfast. They took a peek into their stockings before going to the gifts.
I want to go first this time! Me!
Dag bounced around, waving his arms about.
Oh, Daggy Doopy, everyone knows the oldest of the children goes first, which is moi.
Norbert thrusted a thumb to his chest. Mr. Beaver rubbed his chin.
How about this? The youngest of both litters goes first this time, which means you two.
He pointed to Dag and Chelsea. Chelsea cried happily, grabbing a gift. Dag laughed in Norbert's face.
You are so immature,
said Norbert and Stacy to their respected siblings. Several presents later, Norbert and Daggett gave their parents their gifts.
Wow, this is great, son.
Mr. Beaver smiled at Dag as he unwrapped a figurine made out of twigs.
What is it?
Stacy asked.
It's a train, ain't it, Daggett?
You got it right, Dada!
Dag clapped his paws.
Ooh, isn't this nice?
Mrs. Beaver smiled as she unwrapped hers from Daggett. It was a round wooden disc with the words, "To Mom, love Daggett," carved inside.
It's not a twig animal as usual. See, Mama? See? I did something different, see? Norb said I couldn't, but I did, see?
Dag pointed out,
Yes, I see. Thank you, dear.
and she kissed him.
Pardon me while I hand over my gifts.
Norb said, looking dignified as he handed his over.
Wow, take a look at this.
Mr. Beaver smiled as he opened the gift from his oldest child. It was a brand new sports coat with his initials stitched on the front pocket.
This is perfect. Thank you, Norby.
Mrs. Beaver kissed her son as she unwrapped hers. It was a cookbook entitled The Fancy Dishes of France.
I knew you wanted to try French cuisine for years. See? Told you she liked mine, you besta.
Noah,
Yes, sir.
she likes mine just as much. Don't you, Mama?
Is this what this is all about? Trying to outdo your brother on gifts?
But it's a little figurine made out of twigs and glue.
Oh, Norbert, I've been trying to tell you this for years. Christmas isn't about outdoing someone. It's about spending time with those closest to you.
Yes, but when there are so many other things going on.
Didn't you hear, Mom? It's all about the love, not the spooty stuff.
Dag said, waving a paw. Norb frowned.
But it is! The competitions, best decorations, the best party! I have to win them, and the tree. I had to find the perfect tree.
I told you before, Lamio, we won't even be home on Christmas.
But still,
Norb looked around helplessly. He was surprised that for once no one in the family was on his side, not even Stacy or their mother. Dag sighed as he got to his feet again.
Let me make this as easy peasy as I can.
He wrapped his arms around his older brother and gave him a big hug, lifting him off his feet.
Now tell me what feels better. A hug from me, on my own will, or winning some spooty best party competition.
Norb could feel himself blushing.
wow. I never looked at it that way before.
He beamed at Dag and threw his arms out.
Big hug!
Dag struggled in his brother's arms.
Oh, no! I was just giving you an example. All right. Jeez, lover boy.
He pushed him aside.
Alright, now that Norby's learned the real meaning of Christmas, can we open more presents?
Chelsea asked, looking like she was about to explode.
Yeah!
Stacy chimed in, looking as impatient as her sister was for once. Mrs. Beaver smiled at her sons before looking over at her daughters.
Yes, let's continue.
After everything was unwrapped, Norbert took his little brother aside to speak to him.
Thanks again for everything, Dag.
No problem, Norby.
Dag waved a paw into the air. He looked over his shoulder before reaching into his robe pocket.
Here, I got something extra special for you.
What? Oh, you didn't have to.
Oh, okay then.
No, wait!
Norb took it from him. Looking over his shoulder, he reached into his robe pocket and gave his little brother a gift as well.
Aw, Norby.
You cut it out, lover boy.
Norb winked. Dag tore off the wrapping of his gift. It was a DVD of the legendary Mexican wrestling hero known as El Grapadura.
Norb!
It's his best matches from his whole career.
Norb pointed out. Dag jumped up and down before giving his brother a quick hug.
No, open yours! Open yours!
Okay.
Norb unwrapped his box and gasped.
It's the all-new Pro Beaver grooming system! Has specialty brushes for even the thickest of fur, which you have, a special mirror, sample shampoos and bath soaps, a new loofah, a book on grooming tips, nail clippers, a new issue of Hairdos magazine.
Dag's words were cut short as Norbert was lifting him off the ground in a bear hug.
Daggy, this is the greatest gift ever!
Dag smiled.
Pshaw.
No, really.
Really?
Really.
Better than what Treeflower got you?
Well, she left early, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry I was being such a spoothead to you for weeks, Dag. I just wanted everything to go perfectly this year. But, as you and Mom and everyone pointed out, things did go fine in the end. Or at least today.
Sorry I mess it up your holiday though, Norb.
Who cares? It's all about friends and family, not Christmas trees or competitions.
I am very smart and
Insightful?
Yeah, that.
Norb rolled his eyes,
I'm going to ignore you for many minutes now, Daggy.
and he went off to help carry their sister's new toys upstairs.
Norb? Norbie! Norb! Christmas is all about the family! Norb! Come on!
Beck cried as he followed his siblings up the stairway. And